Hello, my name is Kate Jones, and this is my case study for Module 10 for EDL 853, when a student's rights are wronged. So this case examines Miguel's situation. Miguel is the high school quarterback, and he was injured and paralyzed during a game, resulting in the need for a wheelchair. Upon returning to school, he was placed in a new science class by his guidance counselor, which was not as rigorous as the original course, and the original course was in a room that did not have wheelchair access. Upon learning of the schedule change, Miguel's parents made an appointment with the principal, me, and brought a lawyer, saying that Miguel was being denied his right to a free and appropriate public education. A couple of things for us to be keeping in mind. One, Miguel was injured playing football for the school, something that is probably leading to some extra sensitivity with the family. Mom told the guidance counselor that they needed wheelchair access to classrooms, but no other accommodations were necessary. The new science class seems to be less rigorous than the original class, and he requires a biology credit for the college program he's planning to attend. His parents seem upset, rightfully, specifically because the parents weren't notified of any of the changes to Miguel's schedule ahead of time. And the lawyer specifically cites Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, indicating the need for a 504 plan. So there are a number of legal issues and also some ethical issues connected to Miguel's case. One, he's removed from a course that he needs for the college program of his choice, and he's removed specifically because there was no access for him in his wheelchair, and this then denies him the education that was most appropriate for his needs. So it is in violation of FAPE and ADA. The guidance counselor, without question, mishandled this. Ms. Guzman should have been aware of and recommended a 504 plan to the family, and the guidance counselor should have communicated with administration regarding his placement. In addition, the guidance counselor should have been in contact with Miguel's family ahead of time when she was considering changing the schedule, and this could have been avoided. The school didn't notify the parents of any proposed changes. Probably a smaller, less complicated problem would be the fact that the principal probably should have been more involved in this from the beginning. The other big thing is just the bad optics of it, and the ethical issues connected to it. The student was paralyzed playing football for your school, and then you gave him an award of commitment to the school and then messed with his academic schedule. Even though it was not intentional, it looks really bad and could be damaging to the school community. So if we are going to synthesize what happened, Miguel, paralyzed because of an injury sustained during a school activity, has now been denied access to a class that is required for him in order to guarantee his future academic success. Some of the relevant and known facts having to do with people, place, and program. Miguel, his parents, Mr. Kerry, who's their lawyer, Ms. Guzman, the guidance counselor, me, the principal, and somewhat indirectly, Dr. Harvey, the superintendent. The place is Nottingham High School, the only high school in the Dover Unified School District. The high school serves 3,200 students. And 3/4 of the building is wheelchair accessible. However, because the building is extremely old, the other quarter of the building that is not accessible, it's a very expensive project to make it so. In addition, what we know about the program is that there are excellent academic programs and an excellent football program that most parents and most of the community are very supportive of the school, and that the teachers, administration, students all seem to be very happy with the school and their programs. So that's just a little bit of background about what is going on in this area and some of the things that really we need to consider when worrying about Miguel's case. So what do we do? It's important to keep in mind that this can have major repercussions in the community. They have a strong football team where a lot of people go to the games. They have a strong academic program, and they have extremely supportive parents. Miguel's case challenges all of those things. It's upset the parents. It probably would upset any of the parents connected to the football team who know Miguel and also could imagine their own children in that situation. And also, it challenges the academics, basically saying that if you can't access the class, then you can't take the class. By challenging all three of those things, it could cause a major rift in the community, and it could cause distrust toward the school and the administration. All stakeholders, from the school board to the school staff, and most importantly, the students and parents, can be affected by this, and most will have an opinion about it if it is not handled quickly. Before making a final decision, I do think that it's very important for me as the principal to meet with Ms. Guzman to get a thorough understanding of all communication that she's had with the Hernandez family up to this point. In addition, I should meet with other administrators and anyone from the district who may specialize in accessibility. And if there is a special education office, I should be in contact with them to ensure that I am going to meet ADA and Section 504 requirements with my proposed ideas. So what are the options and what are the consequences connected to those options? Well, the first is not really much of an option, and that's to do nothing. The reason why this isn't much of an option is because in the end, it would probably be an expensive and unpopular lawsuit that will feel reverberation within the community. It's not a good plan to do nothing. The second plan would be compromise, making sure that you are setting a meeting with the family and trying to figure out if there is a way for Miguel to take the class the following year, or looking for a comparable option in an accessible classroom. But that might not be enough for the family who's been very hurt by this situation. The first place that my brain went was to this one, to look at possibilities for continuing the class this year. The first option being to actually physically move the biology class, maybe a different room that's more accessible. This could inconvenience a teacher and some of the other students, but it's a fairly minor inconvenience that they'll get used to pretty quickly. Another option might be to consider a virtual class. The last option is to increase accessibility in the school building. This is an expensive option, though. Eventually, it is a necessary project. But again, this is not going to be solved overnight because of the expense and the time that it would take to fix the building up. And it might not be completed in time to actually have any benefit towards Miguel. So off the top, do nothing is not an option. That would upset the school community. It's bad optics. It's an expensive lawsuit. We can't do nothing. The other thing is, while we might be able to start the process of increasing accessibility in the school building, that does not solve Miguel's problem. So our best options come with either compromise or looking at possibilities for continuing the class this year. I believe that the best option is a combination of options 2 and 3. As a school leader, I should meet with the other administrators, I should meet with the biology teacher, and anyone else necessary to make scheduling or building assignment changes. If we could move the class to an accessible room, that solves just about every problem relating to Miguel and only slightly inconveniences the teacher and other students. I can't imagine a scenario where that is impossible. However, if it is not possible, then a discussion with his family about other options must take place, such as taking the class as a junior or considering a virtual class. I believe that these things will all satisfy the need for the class before attending college, and also gives the school time to make sure that more rooms are accessible moving forward, and making sure that we are following FAPE and ADA. So how do we implement this? First, we meet with Ms. Guzman to make sure that I have all the facts. I let her know that I want to be included in any meetings with the Hernandez family moving forward, hoping that I will be able to help them feel at ease in this situation. Discuss the creation of a 504 plan with the school nurse, the guidance department, and special education office, and bring this to the Hernandez family during the coming meeting. Meet with the staff and administration involved in scheduling and room assignments to see if there is a way to move the course to an accessible room. If yes, set a meeting with the Hernandez family to discuss a 504 plan and let them know that the classroom for biology has been moved and Miguel can stay enrolled in that class. If for some reason that is impossible, discuss with the Hernandez family the options for ensuring that he will be able to take biology in the coming years. See if he's willing to take it next year, or see if he is interested in a virtual option. Both of those ensure that ADA and FAPE are being followed. If these plans do not satisfy the family, it may be time to discuss the issue with the superintendent. In the long term, and to ensure that none of these issues come up again, it is important that proper training be given to all staff in how to handle any sort of situation with FAPE or ADA moving forward. And I do think that it would be wise to begin working with the district on a plan to ensure that all classrooms are accessible in the future. So that may involve fundraising, it may involve requesting government grants, but that is something that would have a long-term benefit on the community and would reestablish trust with the community. Looking at the standards, I do believe that I was able to meet the requirements for this presentation. I evaluated multiple sources and laws connected to accessibility as well as individual cases. Based on the guidelines, I believe I was able to come up with a plan and a backup plan that should satisfy all parties, and that my plan does advocate for equitable access and plans for the future within the building, making sure that all people are taken care of moving forward. And my plan shows my understanding of the laws and is able to be implemented with relative ease. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you.